start off first kung ano nga ba yung opinion natin sa family.
Kung titignan nga natin sa Constitution ng bansa natin, Article 15, Section 1, the family is the foundation of the nation.
Ang keywords dito is understanding and yung love.
Hindi lang family ang foundation. Kasi ang foundation talaga ng family is si God.
Hello, welcome to Tom Say!
What Tomashan says.
Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Aaron Francis P. Silvestre and makikita mo dyan na ang aking IG story, so follow me!
Hi everyone, my name is Leah Limpiata. You can call me Leah and you can follow me on Instagram.
So we have 4 guests here. Please introduce yourself, starting from you.
My name is Austin Martin Cineralia. I am Gabby Santo Domingo.
I am Enzo Miguel Di Mejia.
And I'm Gabriel Nicolas B. Caparas.
Hello everyone! Thank you for being in our podcast today. We're very honored to have you in our podcast. So I hope you enjoy our conversation today.
Okay, in this episode, we're gonna talk about the family as a social institution.
Yes. So as a family of institution, we should start off first kung ano nga ba yung opinion natin sa family or what do we understand sa term na family. So let's start from you muna, Austin. What is family for you?
For me, I guess family is the single most important social group ng isang tao. Wala naman tayong pamilya, di ba? So, pag nasinilang ka sa mundong ito, may pamilya ka, of course, sila yung unang mga taong kilala mo and the ones most dear to you. And yeah, they're pretty much important to every single one of us. It's something that must be valued. And in society, everyone has a family and we're essentially a big family. That's my take on it.
For me naman, gusto ko lang gawing simple, basic unit of society.
Okay.
For me naman, it's the most important and the most foundational part of any society. Pag titignan nga natin sa Constitution ng bansa natin, Article 15, Section 1, the family is the foundation of the nation. For me, I agree so much with the Constitution with that. Kasi nga, bilang mga Pilipino, importante talaga sa atin ang pamilya. And that's my take dyan.
Very nice.
And for me, the family is, like they said, the most basic unit of society. And for me din, it's sila yung pinakaunang school nyo. Kumbaga, sila yung teachers nyo. They teach you everything, what is right, what is wrong, and what is around us. Without them, what could we possibly know about this world?
What about you naman, Francis? What is family for you?
Alam mo, gayap ako dito Hindi, sige.
Charot.
Sige, let's make it concise na basically, family is our basic society wherein I agree sa mga sinabi nyo na simula sa pagkasilang natin, ito yung environment natin, ito yung sinauna nating environment bago tayo magkaroon ng mga kaibigan and other networks outside the family. So, yes. Okay?
Ay, pati ako ba?
Okay.
So, for me, naniniwala ako sa kasabihan ni Coco Martin na family is love. Charot. So,
Sige, kakanta ako dito. Family is love!
ano ba yan? Ano ba? Hindi, pero for me, I like to agree on everyone na sinabi nila. And tama yun, family is the basic unit of society. And according na sa family as a social institution, tama?
Yes.
According here, is that family is the most fundamental unit of society. So tama yung mga sinabi nyo. And the most central function of which is the biological transmission of life and the care and education of children. So may kita natin dito na pagkakaroon ng isang pamilya ay isang foundation which shapes us to become who we are in the present at kung paano tayo gumagalaw sa paligid at sa society natin. So, kayo ba, paano nyo ma-justify or how would you agree on this instance or sa aspect na to that we, as family, is the basic unit or foundation ng ating society and as who we are right now? start from you.
Well, your family is the people that you most rely on and the people who brought you into this world. It is within their obligation na, of course, give you shelter, give you food, and educate you. And alam naman natin sa mga tao at sa mga iba pang bagay na kung ano yung kinagisnan mo, maapektuhan ka nun, kung ano ka in the future. And ang family, ang obligasyon nito is to ensure na ayos yung upbringing mo. So in the greater sense of society, you would be a better citizen, better man, and a better follower of God, of course.
Wow, that's a very nice answer.
For me naman kasi, unang mga yun nga, teachers natin sa ating buhay ay yung parents natin. And unang mga role model natin is yung mga kuya natin. Mga ganun. And, bago tayo maging part ng society, part muna tayo ng family natin. So sa kanila natin natututunan yung mga manners, kung paano tayo makisalamuha sa ibang tao. So magre-reflect din sa atin kung anong klase ang pamilyang kinabilangan natin, kung paano tayo aakto sa ibang tao sa society.
Yes.
Actually, I agree with the two of them. Kasi nga, ang mga actions na inaano natin, like for example, kung paano tayo umasa sa public, or for example nga, kung paano tayo nagiging nakikipagsalamuha sa mga kapwa natin na tao, nagagaling yan sa pamilya natin. For example, tayong mga Pilipino, dahil nga tayong mga Pilipino, may family culture tayo. Kasi nga Asian tayo, di ba? Asian tayo. And ang Asia, mga Asiano ay mga mahilig sa pamilya. And hindi mo sinasabi na lahat ng mga Asiano ganun, hindi ganun. Ang sinasabi ko dito, ang mga Asiano ay talaga foundation talaga ng isang society ang pamilya nila. Kaya nga ang mga norms ng mga tao, for example ng isang syudad or isang country or any village, ganun ay galing talaga doon sa nila, sa kinalakihan nila, which is their family.
Yes, very nice. Thank you.
So, in a sense, agree naman sa kanila. Drawing back from my grade 11, grade 12 sociology lessons, family is yung blueprint, how do you put this? Doon talaga nakikita natin kung how a person adjusts to society, because sa pamilya nga, doon natin nakikita kung how they interact with their juniors and seniors, kung may kapatid kayong mas matanda sa'yo or mas bata sa'yo, and the parents in general. It's there we also see that how a person's personality is defined. Kasi that's the result of yung upbringing nila. And I do agree that family is indeed the basic unit of society because it is the very foundation, the very core.
Very nice.
Okay, I would like to say thank you for opening. And speaking of norms, sinabi mo Enzo. So I'm giving the context muna here that we have three classified of marriage. That is monogamous, polygamous, and polyandrous. See, let's start with the monogamous muna, which is very common here in the Philippines. It consists of one husband and one wife. Na I can say this is socially acceptable. Okay? While ang polyandrous is one husband and multiple wives, and polyandrous is one wife and multiple husband. So I would like to ask na it is having a polygamous and polyandrous type of marriage is acceptable here? What do you think?
Shall I answer?
Yes.
In terms of sa society natin in the Philippines, it's more of not socially acceptable. We are more lenient towards the monogamous, and as well as in religious setting, kaya nga it's between the union of two people, di ba? It's monogamy. That's the main thing about our society and our religion. Meanwhile, yung polyandrous and essentially polygamy, it's much more frowned upon and something na parang hindi natin nakikita as within the norm, much acceptable and much preferred sa ating mga tao, and of course mga Katoliko na monogamy.
Yes.
Ayun, ang marriage nga ay parang union ng dalawang tao. So, ang monogamy or monogamous ang pinaka-accepted dito. Para sa akin naman, agree naman doon. Kasi since nga nasa Pilipinas tayo, napaka-religious na bansa. So, I think na pinafollow lang nila yun parang teachings and yun parang nature of being conservative ng bansa. And yun, I agree with Mr. Narendra.
Yeah, I agree with both of you dito. Pero pagdating sa polyandrous and polygamy, I agree with you guys na with our religion, it's not really socially acceptable. Pero if we look at other religions, tulad ng Islam or other religions that I don't know lang kung ano yung iba, but I only know which that is Islam, it's socially acceptable sa religion nila. And I could respect that. First off, I'm not saying that I respect the whole practice. For me talaga, I really think it's socially unacceptable. And in all honesty, I do believe that a marriage is only between two people. Two people lang talaga. Hindi siya pwede na isang lalaki tapos multiple na babae. I don't agree with that. Kasi una sa lahat, paano mo susuportahan, di ba? Paano mo susuportahan? Pera rin yan. Mahirap yan. Mahirap ang buhay. At dagdag pa natin na nasa ano na yan, na inseparable union. So, if you already are in a union with a person, hindi dapat na magja-jump ka lang bigla sa isa pang union. Ayun ang para sa akin. Yun talaga para sa akin. So, to cut it short talaga, I do agree with their sentiments na I do believe that it's socially unacceptable. Pero, in terms of other cultures, it's pretty plausible for me. Kasi nga, yun yung kultura nila. So, yun talaga. Like in Islam, I do respect that. So, yeah.
Okay. For me, kasi, looking back to the Philippines, we are an inherently Catholic nation. Tinuruan tayo na husband and wife are inseparable. And yung mga, forgive me for the term, by mga kabit, they're frowned upon dito sa Pilipinas. And like they said, di yan acceptable sa atin because ibig sabihin nun, hindi ka faithful sa partner mo. And also, the concept of polygamy and polyandrous is respected in other cultures, like my good friend Enzo said. But here in the Philippines and other, how should I word this, Christian-centric countries, it's not acceptable because hindi yan tinuruan sa atin sa Biblia. Ang tinuro sa atin, one husband, one wife, faithful sila. That's all what I can say here.
Okay. So, thank you sa sharing yun. So, may isa pa akong narinig kanina. Enzo, you mentioned something about Islam kanina.
Yes.
And may dadagdag pa kami isang topic about this, which is the idea of endogamy and exogamy. So, yung endogamy is, according here, endogamy is a marriage within a social unit like caste, ethnicity, or religion. So, endogamy, which means in endogamy. Yung isa exogamy, which means outside. So, endogamy, it consists of marriage within the same religion, same society, so same ethnicity, yes. So, parang sinabi mo kanina is yung sa Islam, yes, hindi dito, ang mapapasok ang endogamy doon is when two Islams get married. So, yun yung endogamy. While yung exogamy naman is consists of two different ethnicity, caste, and religion. So, nagko-contradict yung, hindi man not necessarily contradicted, but it's different. So, ang mapapasok naman natin case sa sinabi kanina ni Enzo is that, for example, the wife is, the husband is the Muslim,
Yeah.
while yung wife naman is a Christian. So, that's what you call exogamy. So, kanina naman, natanong ni Francis na, what is your opinion? Is it socially acceptable in terms of monogamy, polygamy, polyandrous? What about naman in the idea of endogamy and exogamy? So, sa society natin as a Filipino, anong masasabi niyo sa current situation natin in terms of this idea, as well as sa opinion niyo if this should be acceptable?
Personally, I think endogamy, it's your preference kung gusto mo mag-marry into your own religion, into your own ethnicity. Sure, pero I don't think there should be any problems pag naman exogamy. If you wanna marry someone from other religion, other ethnicity, you're free to do that as you please. And it's socially acceptable, and especially in a more connected world na, syempre, globalization, mas madami na tayong mga nakakasalimuhang ibang tao, okay lang yun. Marry who you want, But I guess still respect each one's preferences as always, and don't make so and that's what I think about it.
For me kasi ang marriage is parang complicated na siyang bagay. Like, malaki na siyang adjustment sa buhay mo. Imagine living with someone na sa long term na yon, hanggang sa ano na kayo, family, mga sariling career, trabaho. I think ang endogamy is ginagawa lang siya for yung comfort kasi yun, since yun nga, same kayo ng religion, same na kayo ng belief, same kayo ng lahi. So, hindi na kayo mag-a-adjust dun sa terms ng communication nyo and understanding. And ang exogamy naman is socially acceptable din naman, pero I think mas mahirap siyang adjustment. So I think for me, ang endogamy is for your comfort and your preference nga. And exogamy is socially acceptable, pero mas malaki or mahabang adjustments pa yung kailangan nyo gawin when it terms to belief and communication and understanding.
Yeah.
I do agree with Gabby dyan sa sentiment niyan. Kasi in the first place, I do believe that exogamy and endogamy are very socially acceptable. And like sabi nga ni Austin dito, na it's up to your choice. It's your choice talaga. That's the whole point dito. And to tell a little story lang, sa family ko kasi, meron kami na hindi kami masyado na like, sasabihan ako I should also marry a Catholic rin. Ganon.
Okay.
Kasi, of course, since Katoliko ako, Katoliko rin dapat yung ano dyan. Pero of course, hindi naman pino-force yan. It's just a reminder. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na sinabihan ka ng parent mo, di ba, na, dapat yung kinakasal mo, Katoliko lang dapat. No, ang inaalon doon is reminder. Nire-remind ka lang na, for example, kung ano, pero if, for example, may na-meet ako, tapos ano pala siya, let's say, Lutheran siya, di ba? Lutheran or Christian, born again. I don't see a problem with that. Kasi to each your own. In the Constitution Constitution na naman. To the Constitution itself, we have freedom of religion. So we can have our own religion based on our choice and choice of beliefs. Para sa akin, it's very socially acceptable kung if you prefer the same religion as your choice of partner, it's fine. If you prefer another religion as your choice of partner, again, socially acceptable. So that's just me.
To my end, I agree with the two gentlemen before me. But here's the thing. As long as di ma-compromise yung central value ng the family is the basic social unit. Looking back with me reading, encyclopedias, I see snippets of culture. May mga customs, traditions ng mga marriages in other religions. I don't really see the problem in having an exogamic marriage aside from the fact that mas komplikado yung marriage procedure kasi iba kasi. But the point is, both of them are socially acceptable compared to the, let's say, polygamy and polyandrous types of marriage because it supports the socially accepted here sa Pinas na one man, one wife. Basta di lang ma-compromise yung concept of the family and the values that come with it.
Very nice. Thank you sa pag-answer nun. And I really agree sa mga sentiments nyo. Most especially kay Austin and sa'yo. And I like to agree with that. Na personally kasi, I believe that love is universal. So, ikaw, may tanong naman ako sa'yo.
Oh, no!
Would you say that ikaw as a human and a dog? Exogamy.
Sige, ako talaga.
Joke lang.
Oh.
Sige, ikaw, ano naman yung masasabi mo sa mga answer nila?
Okay. Actually, in terms of endogamy, there's no problem. There's nothing wrong in terms of parang falling in love with your same society, same culture pa, kumbaga. In terms, let's say in the religion, if nagkagusto ka sa isang tao and you want to marry him or her, same as religion is, there's nothing wrong. And in terms of exogamy, there's nothing wrong also if let's say if the one person is a Muslim then if you really love her, then I think respeto. Parang since mahal mo siya and kailangan mo respetuhin yung culture nila, it depends on both parties kung kaninong beliefs ang mapupunta. For example, ako, dahil mahal ko ang isang tao, parang mag-iinto rin ako sa beliefs niya. For example, in Muslim, magiging Muslim rin ako. And there's nothing wrong naman with that.
Question. Can two cultures coexist in exorbitant marriages?
I think it depends. It depends on the belief. If one religion na kailangan parang convert ba, then it depends talaga siya. It depends on both parties kung ano yung mapapag-usapan.
So it's a situational sort of thing.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, definitely, it's very plausible. Meron ng mga European-centric yung culture, then Asian, pag-haluin ko lang. And religion naman, there are people who allow each other to practice their own religions. Because, it's okay. Coexist with one another, respect one another, and sometimes they let themselves convert. It is very possible.
I do agree with that. Kasi to share a little thing, yung tita ko kasi, she's a Catholic and she resides in the US. And yung husband naman niya is a Christian. And they both are living at the same roof. And I don't see anything wrong with that. They're not forcing each other to convert. So, I think it's very fine naman. It's very plausible. So, it's just,
I think tsaka mag-work naman siya as long na meron kayong respect sa isa't isa and understanding sa isa't isa. Walang pala if magpapaksal ka sa may ibang belief or ibang lahi. As long na meron kayong respect and understanding sa isa't isa.
Yes. Thank you. And I actually agree that family is very diverse. Ang keywords dito is understanding and yung love. Now, I would like to talk about the traditional family in terms of economics. The typical in terms of family, the typical na breadwinner is the father. While ang nanay ay ilaw ng tahanan. So, I would like to open up a little bit, parang to share my... Ayan na, mag-iyak na ako dito. My father is a OFW and my mom is a breadwinner, housewife, kumbaga. So, basically, hindi ko nakasama ang father ko ever since I was child. But still, nandun pa rin yung love niya na binibigay. So, here's my opinion. It is okay na what if yung tatay yung nasa bahay, house husband rather, while yung nanay ang nagtatrabaho, or parehas ang magulang ang nagtatrabaho. So, what is your thoughts?
Well, personally, very situational yung tanong na yan. Pero, eto, to set things as in a balance ba? There's nothing wrong if the husband works or they are the house husband or the wife. It's okay kung ano ba yung situation ng buhay nyo, kung ano yung gusto ng asawa nyo, go for it. And if both sides wants to work or need to work, go lang din. I don't think we should instill this belief na lalaki lang pwede magtrabaho, babae lang pwede nasa bahay, or babae is diyan ka lang, lalaki doon ka. It should be more on equal side. Both can strive, both can contribute in their own ways in their families. And also, mind you, both are important in their families. Porket nagtatrabaho yung isa, porket siya yung may pera, hindi ibig sabihin na walang kwenta na yung isa. No, they are providing the essentials in a family. Binibigyan nila ng education, ng tulong, ng suporta yung anak nila. Though hindi siya directly financial, it is very important both emotionally and physically being present within your child's life. Both are important, both are with one another. They can coincide.
Para sa akin naman is, ang unang profession is walang relation sa gender. I think ang mga babae, if anong gusto nilang maging profession, pwede nilang makuha. Ang lalaki, pwede nilang makuha. So, yun naman din. Kasi yun mag-share lang ako sa background ko, sa family ko. Yung mother ko kasi is retired dentist na. And yun, nagpakasal sila nung father ko. Yung father ko, hindi siya pinilit mag-retire. Parang sinabi niya, okay lang if magkaanak and yun, magtrabaho ka pa rin. Is both naman sila katrabaho nun. Pero ang nag-volunteer ng mag-retire yung mother ko para matutuwa kami ng brother ko. So I think yun din yung important is respetuhin mo yung parang profession ng partner mo. And intindihin na ang profession ay walang relation sa gender. And lahat ng kung ano man kasarian mo, pwedeng maging kung ano ka man at kung ano man ang magiging purpose or trabaho mo sa society and sa family.
Yeah.
I really agree with that. And dagdag pa natin. Let me state this: one's profession does not correlate to one's gender. Ibig sabihin, it doesn't matter kung babae ka man or lalaki. It doesn't matter kung lalaki ka man or babae. Kung ano yung trabaho mo, it's not gender specified.
Yes.
Tama. Kung abogado ka, lalaki or babae, pwede maging abogado. Di ba? Tama. Tama, di ba? Tama. Kaya ito guys, ano dito? To share a little story din sa akin, yung mom ko OFW. Dad ko, teacher sa ano. And ngayon, nakatira ako sa lola ko. Both of them are providing me financial support. And pinag-aaral pa ako sa university na to.
Yes.
Pinag-aaral ko sa university na to, diba?
Yes.
Tamasino talaga, oh. Ghost eh. Pero going back tayo dito. I'm very privileged na I have both parents na nagsastrive para sa akin. And kaya, it doesn't matter kahit di man housewife yung mom ko or yung dad ko house husband, it doesn't matter. Ang mahalaga sa akin talaga, I know that my parents love and support me. And kaya, for me, that's very important for me.
Yes.
For me, the most important concept is as long as both parents can support and provide for their children. Share ko lang, both of my parents work in the same profession. They're both travel agency workers. And no matter kung is how away they are, kunwari nasa mom ko nasa Nueva Ecija, dad ko nasa US Embassy and whatsoever, the most important thing is that they always support me and my elder sister. Talaga. That's the important thing sa economic side of the family. The parents must support their children. And that's all.
So very well sa mga sinabi ko. And I also want to share a
Oh, yeah.
little personal experience din. Kasi di ba tinatanong natin na what is our opinion sa difference ng roles ng parents? Well, personally for me, parang tayo ata yung same kami ni Gabby na halos same lang yung magiging role ng parents ko na si Ma, parehas sila nag-work, parehas din sila ng work. Hindi lang sila parehas nag-work, but parehas sila ng work. Ganun. So, I think dito rin sa aspect na to, it's also universal, you know. It's a very subjective matter. And since pinag-uusapan na rin naman natin ang family as focusing on child,
Yeah.
we're moving on to something more controversial.
Yes.
So, for this one, we're gonna talk about regulation of sexuality. Kasi diba, as time goes by, sa history natin before, we all know that we're kind of conservative and we have a very serious strict norms before na as time goes by, we're slowly mediating it and moving into more modern lifestyle. So iba na makikita natin yung lifestyle natin before sa lifestyle natin ngayon in the present. So ito na nga. So it says here that it is only permissible to have sex when they're married. Ayun. So makikita natin in the generation way back that this is really strict kasi nga before we're patriarchal, so we follow we kind of follow, we're more serious and we're more devoted on the scriptures. But as we notice in our generation right now, it's slowly being changed, and marami na tayong opinions and marami na tayong actions that is, liberated, and marami na tayong actions na mas nagiging open tayo sa mga new experience, new things as a part of Gen Z, ganun. So, sabi here that having sex should mean creating life. So, contraceptives should not be used. Wag muna kayo. Ito muna gusto kong, kaya na pa sila eh. Pahingayin muna natin sila. So, tayo muna. Ano bang masasabi mo sa opinion na to? It's quite controversial, but we're open, di ba?
Yes.
We're open. Ayun. So, for you.
For me, if you're gonna ask me for this, it's difficult. It's very difficult because since this is a Catholic church, and as Lian mentioned earlier, na contraceptive is bad in the eyes of the church. But for me, in terms of the demography, basically, mahirap na mag-alaga pa ng bata, knowing na nag-overpopulate na tayo dito here in the Philippines. So, I believe rather na kailangan ng contraceptives in terms of our family planning, kung pag-uusapan natin further. So, that's my opinion on my end.
Wow, okay. Diba, very controversial siya. Pati yung co-host ko nahirapan. So, kayo guys, ano ba yung mga opinions nyo about this controversial perspective? Comment down below. And so, let's move on sa mga guests natin. Gusto nyo ba ulitin ko?
No, it's
Okay. Sige, Austin.
Okay. I would say and admit na napakahirap na itong question na to, especially nga, Catholic institution. So, belief natin is set on one thing lang. However, personally, I don't think contraceptives are necessarily bad, and medyo murky ako dun sa part na, sex before marriage type. Medyo murky siya, pero at the same time, I understand it. I think it's okay to a level. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, mahirap siya sagutin, pero
Yes,
like,
it is.
basically, it's fine if you guys are committed to one another. That's my look over it. Wag lang, pero medyo na sa akin yung trip-trip lang. Personally, hindi ako yung ganyan na trip-trip na. Pero, okay, moving forward naman sa contraceptives. I agree with Francis din. Kasi nga, na-overlook nai-ignore natin yung importance ng contraceptives, and rather than seeing lagi na lang pro-life or pro-choice, di ba? We should think na if the pro-life stance we hold really does support the life that we're trying to protect. Sabihin nyo, yeah, sure, pro-life, let them give birth, wag nyo, huwag nyo hayaang malaglag or whatnot. Pero however, paano pag nabuhay yan? Sino magpapakain dyan? Ang lagi ko na nakikita na argument is give life, let them live, pero at the same time, what is beyond the life that they will live? Paano kung overpopulated na yung family nila at di sila masuportahan?
Yes.
What is next? Do we just let them suffer? So, nagkakaroon ng validity yung argument with, of course, pro-choice and yung contraceptives.
Yes.
It's not evil on its own. It is basically a helpful means for family planning din.
Yun, gagawin ko rin yung parang setup ni Austin, yung sex before marriage. I think,
Okay.
for me naman, hindi naman siya nagmamatter since preference siya. And as long na, if ang habol nyo dun sa isang person is hindi lang siya parang, in term na parang para usap, as long na hindi nyo yung ginagawa, okay lang. And then, as long na wala kayong parang multiple partners sa kayo. If parang meron kayong kunyari, in a relationship kayo na hindi pa naman kayo kasal, pero nire-respeto mo yung partner mo and parang alam mo sa sarili mo na hindi mo siya lolokohin, and same sa kanya na may tiwala ako sa kanya and kilala mo yung partner mo na hindi kanya lolokohin, wala naman sa akin mali doon. And I think yun nga din sa usapang contraceptives, masyado siyang controversial Pero legal naman kasi ang contraceptive sa Pilipinas.
Yes.
Nabibili sa ano lang, 7-Eleven, sa mga
Convenience
convenience store, mga supermarket, nabibili siya. So, ibig sabihin, accessible siya. And pwede natin gawin yun. Pwede natin gawin or pwede natin bilhin yun. Since yun nga, binigay na sa atin, legal na yun eh. And ang importance din naman ng contraceptives is, ano rin naman yan, yun nga, importante rin siya sa family planning. Since ngayon nga, mahirap ang buhay, may inflation, ang daming kailangan isipin bago gawin. I think importante din ang contraceptives, hindi lang dun sa norm na sinasabi na wala yung masama yan. Important, may purpose ang contraceptives in terms of parang pag-prevent ng unnecessary or unwanted na pregnancy. And
Yes.
yun, part din naman siya ng sex ed, di ba? Ang condom. Part siya ng sex ed, which is ituturo na rin naman siya. And yun nga, importante siya sa pagiging responsable sa mga actions natin.
Yeah. Tama, I agree with them. And isa pa, I'll start off with with the contraceptives. For me, first and foremost, proper sexual education is a must. Kasi nga, if we want to prevent yung mga cases of teenage pregnancy, ano ba yung root na hanapin natin? Ang pinaka-root is the act itself. Para ma-prevent natin ang mga kabataan natin. Di ba? Ano sabi ni Jose Rizal?
Kabataan ay pag-asa.
Let's go. Totoo ba? Ang kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan. So, kaya nga, ang mga kabataan natin, dapat tuturuan natin na responsible parenthood at dagdag pa natin ang mga kabataan, dapat tuturuan natin ng proper sexual education. Bakit? Kasi nga, if we want to prevent these, for me lang if we want to prevent these controversial topics from happening, education is a must and it is aray. Tama, di ba? True. Education talaga. Kailangan talaga i-educate natin sila. Kasi nga, paano nila malalaman na, bawal pala, hindi ko pala muna to kasi bata pa ako. Kasi may future pa sila. Kaya for me, alam ko medyo mahirap talaga to sa atin. Kasi nga, as sabi nga nila, and sabi nyo rin, as Filipinos, we are very conservative. And I do agree with the sentiments of pro-life ideas and isa pa sa pro-choice ideas, and I do agree with to some extent. Pero for me talaga, if we want to prevent these things from happening, we have to find the root cause talaga. And pagdating ka sa contraceptives, I do agree with all of you na dito walang masama dyan kasi nga in the first place, mahirap ang buhay. Mahirap mamuhay sa bansa, mas lalo sa bansa na to. Paano tayo makakaano, di ba? Mahirap mabuhay dito. Kaya ako magsasabi sa inyo na there's nothing wrong with using it. Pero pagdating naman sa sex before marriage, medyo maano lang ako doon. Medyo 50-50 ako. Medyo 50-50. 50-50 ako kasi I do believe in the sanctity of the marriage. And dagdag pa natin, like sa pag-ano natin sa theology lessons natin, I do agree with our teacher na talagang if you want to procreate, dapat dun talaga sa partner mo. Pero, again, 50-50 siya dahil nga, we have contraceptions for a reason. So, that's just to me. Kaya, it's very hard for me talaga to make a actual decision on my stance on that. Kaya, talagang 50-50 ako. Kasi I do agree with both sentiments from the pro-life and the pro-choice. So, yeah.
This is quite the loaded question kasi alam mo naman tayong mga Pilipino, pinalaking sa Catholic households. But for me, I also agree with their sentiments. In the terms of sex before marriage, this may sound a little bit, how do you put this? Off-putting to some, but sex is sometimes seen as a pursuit in life. Pero the line that draws it is consent. It's something that can be done with someone you trust. That's where we draw the line. And the act itself is much more better. Oh, spike down. I can't word this very well. The act itself is okay, acceptable with married couples because the trust is very high. They know each other. As with contraceptives, it's a very crucial part of family building. We don't want any unwanted pregnancies. We don't want any more complications in family raising. It is important because it prevents one of the biggest issues in the Philippines, teenage pregnancy. That's all what I have to say with the question.
Wow. So thank you guys for answering. So every answer is very well respected. And again, our generation is evolving. Grabe, pang homo sapiens to like this.
Yes.
Joke lang. So, ayun, we can observe here that our society, our norms, it's changing and it's not absolute. And coming here, we should also keep in mind the responsible procreation. Kasi the basic function of family is for us to multiply. Kasi that's what the Bible said, right? Yes. And so, this facilitates and this concludes that marriage is a way for us to have the access to a procreation, which is sex. Kasi this doesn't just only concern the sex itself, but also yung foundation as family. Kaya nga natin pinag-usapan to as a podcast that family as a social institution. Kasi this is where we shape ourselves, this is where we discover and introspect what kind of people are we. Kung sinaul ba tayo, or kung ganun ba, joke lang. So, ayun, every opinions are very well respected, and again, I like to repeat that our time is continuously evolving and we should be open to a lot of opinions, a lot of stances, a lot of sentiments in our environment kasi it's important for us to embody empathy, but at the same time, we keep the Bible absolute. Yes.
Okay. I would like to open let's talk about the love. Okay? According to Saint John Pope natin na si John Paul II, na sinabi niya is give themselves to one to another and to receive one to another. So, medyo ibabaw muna natin. What is your thoughts about that in terms of love?
Well, in that regard naman, in terms of love for me, it's okay, medyo inline ako sa kanya kasi nga to give is to love, to ganun. Equal giving of one another, para siyang cycle. Pero may konti akong deviation, which is that I believe that two of them should always try to give more love than the other by a cycle of giving a lot of love and understanding to one another. That's how I see love is. It is not something transactional, it is something unconditional.
Yes.
Same with the God, same with Lord. His love is unconditional. I think that's how we should treat love.
Ganun din naman sa akin. I think if papasok pa sa... if ang definition dapat ng love is yun nga, dapat unconditional, dapat binibigay mo yun, yung best mo yun, parang hindi ka dapat parang nag-expect palagi ng kapalit. More on like, yeah, mahal ko yung tao, dapat ko siyang, dapat kong gawin to para sa kanya kasi mahal ko nga siya. And I think ang mahal naman is, ang pagmamahal naman is parang hindi mo yun na-expect. Kung mahal mo yung na tao is hindi ka hanap ng kapalit sa kanya.
To add din, sorry kasi na-open mo nga na, yeah, that's love. That is how love should be. It's not something na transaction para yung businessman na bibigyan mo ako nito, bibigyan kita niyan, gano'n.
Hindi siya currency.
Yeah, it's not currency. I'm doing this because I love you. I'm doing this for you. And not out of a need or something lang na gusto ko makuha from you. Tapos pag wala na. That's how love should be.
Nakilig ako sa inyo dalawa.
Dami naman yung
Sige, go. So, alam nyo talaga, agree ako na agree dyan. Kasi nga, love is very unconditional. Kasi ito, kapag minahal mo isang tao dahil binibigyan ka ng pera, or love mo isang tao dahil may nakukuha kang benefit sa kanya, sa kanya, sugar papi, asukal de papa mo, di ba ganun? I think that is not very, very good. Kasi nga, what is the purpose of love? Ibig sabihin, you only benefit from it. Yes, you only benefit from it, and that's, like you said, transactional yan. It's like a business.
That's not.
Diba? It's like a business. it's like a business. Ang nangyayari kasi, if you get something from that, you also get something in return. Na ano, na binabayaran mo siya, parang sasabi mo lang, sorry, parang naano ko ng konti analogy ko. Parang ganito na lang. Nagano ka sa isang store, tapos, ay hindi, sorry na ano, sa analogy ko na ano ng konti. Pero ganito na lang, to simplify na lang. It's like this. It's like this. Yung tao na to, you only give your heart and soul to them. Heart and soul to them dahil ano, tinutulungan ka. For example, sa school, kinakausap mo lang ang tao na to dahil, for example, ano mo lang siya, tinutulungan ka sa project, tinutulungan ka sa ano, di ba? Hindi naman maganda yun. Hindi naman maganda. Kaya, for me, sa love naman, if you love a person because you benefit from them, benefit like, ano, pwede natin sabihin sexually, sexually, like you get, ano tawag doon? Sorry you get pleasure from them. Lagi kayo na sa sex. You like ano, friends with benefits. Sorry.
Okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
Parang kumukuha ka lang ng sexual pleasure dun sa ano na yan, sa tao na yan. I don't think that's love. That's just that's just benefits. The meaning of love is unconditional. And kaya agree talaga ako sa inyo.
Wow.
I agree with their sentiments. It all comes back to this. You love a person because of who they are. You don't love someone kasi rich sila or matalino sila. You love them because you appreciate them for being them. Their flaws, their pros, everything. Ika nga sa mga, well, minsan nagsusulat ako ng hugot lines eh. I will give you the roses of love, even if the thorns bleed me dry. Kasi mahal kita. I appreciate you as a person. And that's how love works, and especially sa family. Because you love them, you would sacrifice for them. You do everything for them kasi you cherish and appreciate them as they are.
Kinikilig na yung jowa ni Nico. Joke.
Okay.
Din sa akin is, yung love din naman kasi iba't ibang context eh. Kunyari ako, like, if magiging magulang ako, magkakaroon ako ng anak. Syempre, dahil mahal ko yung anak ko, bibigyan ko siya ng bahay, pagkain, education. Love siya and responsibility, pero hindi ko expect na meron yung kapalit. Since love ko nga yun, magiging anak ko, hindi ko hingin ng kapalit. So, ganun din. If gagawin natin sa mga, kunyari sa hayop, kunyari, meron tayong alaga, parang, ipapagong natin yung alaga natin, papakainin. Kasi mahal natin alaga natin, alagaan natin. Anong benefit na hinahanap mo ibabalik mo? Diba?
Yes.
Oo, pwede na maging batang ama.
Uy, wag naman. Wag naman.
No, I think naman sa statement niya, love is something you can express. There's this thing called love languages. You love it doesn't necessarily that pag mahal mo isang tao, automatically bibigyan mo na siya ng flowers and chocolates. No, it isn't limited to that. Love can be expressed in multitude of ways. For example, kayo, you just go watch a movie because you want to spend time with each other. You go have a chat sa, let's say, doon lang sa kanto kasi mahal mo siya, you appreciate them. And also, love isn't necessarily romantic. It can be also be platonic. For example, experience ko lang, nung the weekend before Valentine's, me and my ate went to the cinema and go see the latest Captain America movie because I wanted to bond with my ate and to get away the stress from college.
Sample na ng love language.
Thank you for your insights about the love. And what about you? What is your insight about love? Bago ako mag-explain on this.
Ako kasi kanina nabanggit ko na that love is universal. Everyone has a right to love. Regardless or whether or not exogamy naman, endogamy man yan. And I also agree, like Austin, and I also agree sa sinabi ni Pope, what again?
Si St. John Paul II.
St. John Paul II, that marriage is a give and take situation. And it's all, I also agree with them na grabe, pwede na kayo maging batang ama. Hindi kasi it's very nice. Sa generation natin ngayon, alam natin ang definition of love and whether or not friends or family or partner or kahit sino man yan, we know that love should be unconditional. And that's the highest form of love that we can give to another person. Kasi matatandaan natin here yung ginawa ni unconditional love. And let us remind ourselves that again, darating na ang Holy Week, so we prepare ourselves in commemoration of salvation natin. And the gift of salvation from God, di ba? Grabe binigay sa atin si Jesus Christ for parang naligtas tayo to give us a second chance and to open the heavens for us. And I think that's the greatest love that we can adapt or that we can feel, lalo na it comes from the mighty one with God. And it's very nice sa mga opinion natin ngayon that love should be unconditional. And ikaw, gusto mo makita yung answer niya for this?
Yeah, okay, I agree to both of you, lahat kayo, sa mga sinabi nyo in terms of love. It should be a love and receive. And it should be reciprocal. Okay? Hindi kailangan ng gumastos ng super laki to show love. Okay? We can apply this to our marriage na hindi kailangan ang love, hindi kailangan idaan through sex. Kailangan ipakita yung love not only to show your husband or wife, but also to show your future children, sa mga bata in general. Sinabi nga ni Gabi na providing a needs and wants ng isang bata with walang hinihingi kapalit, 'di ba? This should be a mindset in this generation na sa mga future anak natin, dapat hindi na tayo maghihingi ng kapalit o utang na loob na forcingly, okay? It's okay na may magbibigay na utang na loob voluntarily, but it's toxic na if parents hihingi ng utang loob sa mga bata forcingly. And that's toxic.
That is parang investment ba?
Yes, exactly. 'Di ba? And in terms of friends of benefits, in the eyes of the church, it's sin. It's a sin. Wherein magaganap lang ang sex for creation of life, not for pleasure. This also parang ipapasok din natin contraceptive. Kaya nga pinagbabawal ang contraceptive. Kasi nga, sex, it should be procreation, not for a pleasure. Okay? And lastly, sinabi nga ni Leah na let us commemorate the Holy Week for the salvation of God, and also to our future children, we should teach them willingly in the service of God and neighbor. So, yun na yung gusto ko sabihin sa mga manonood natin and to our guests. So, ikaw na, it's your turn. Okay, ako pa pala. So, ayun. In the future, what is your ideal in marriage? What is your key? What is your secret to keep a marriage happy?
Grabe, parang married na sila parang.
In the future, what is your ideal? Ganun lang.
I guess ang pinaka-ideal sa marriage and having someone is that communication, understanding, and of course, you love them for who they are and what they are. And transparency na din. And of course, trust.
Yes.
Importante yung limang yun for a fruitful and wonderful marriage. And it ensures that the both of you are connected with one another. So with the church, you know, you understand the gift. It's love. Unconditional. Those are the key things that I see now na importante for a relationship to prosper. Pero in other contexts, this doesn't just apply to married people. It also applies to your friends, to your family, and of course to your kids. If you apply that, it would always result in a very fruitful and loving relationship with everyone.
For me din naman is, ang pinaka-importante is parang communication, trust, and respect sa isang relationship. Kasi parang walang love if wala yung tatlo.
Okay.
Walang love kung wala yung tatlo. Kung hindi mo nire-respeto at hindi mo nire-respeto at wala kang tiwala dun sa tao, basically hindi mo siya mahal or hindi siya importante para sa'yo. So, importante yun. And I think gusto ko rin, nakikita ko para mag-prosper is nakikita ko siya more on sa parents ko. Kasi ang tagal na nilang kasal, parang 28 years. And simula na never ko silang nakita mag-argue. And puno sila ng respeto sa isa't isa, palagi sila nag-uusap. And yun, walang nagmamataas sa kanilang dalawa. So yun parang gusto kong gawing inspiration if ako na nagkakasal sa future.
Hindi lang pala pwede maging balang ama. Husband na rin.
Walang kakatong.
Napakaganda talaga ng mga sinabi ng dalawa. And agree na agree talaga ako sa kanila. Yung tatlo na trust. Ano ba isa? Nakalimutan ko dyan. Trust, communication, and respect. Ito ang pinaka-importante sa isang relationship. Like sinabi nyo nga, huwag ka magmamataas. For example, don't be too prideful. If you think na may ginawa kang mali, for example, mag-asawa kayo, if you think may mali ka, you have to own up to it. Own up to it, your own mistakes. Kasi why? You will not be judged. Diba? In a relationship, you will not be judged. Kung may mali ka man, basta alam mo na may mali ka, you are willing to, for example, may mali ka ginawa, you are willing to change, that's fine. I don't see a problem with that. Kasi nga, if you truly love someone and really care for someone, you are willingly there to help them change and see them change. And for me, that's very important kasi you have to consider na pride talaga, we all know that is a sin. Diba? Pride is a sin. Kaya, for me, if you're not prideful and you trust your partner, then you will have a fruitful relationship and or marriage.
Yes.
Diba? Sagutin mo na ako. Joke.
May ganun. Shout out daw.
This guy is husband material. He's
Oh,
father
God.
material.
Ikaw, daddy.
But I do agree with all their sentiments. Communication, trust, understanding. Palagi ko kasing nakikita sa mga tao ngayon is they only married just for the sake of it. Parang pinapasa nila yung, I'm not accusing anybody of this, yung mga marriage reasons nila based on dun sa mga celebrity couples. Well, you know what happens? Nag-iwalayan, may divorce, everything bad about everything bad about marriage. It's because that they lack the aforementioned values. It is what makes a relationship works. We don't enter a relationship not because for the thrill of it, it's because you're committed to the vocation and you trust each other na siya yung makakasama mo for the rest of your days.
Agree. Ang magandang word na sinabi niya is commitment. If you are not committed to your partner, then why are you entering in a relationship, di ba? You're not committed. Why bother? Why bother? Kung papalitan mo lang siya, why bother? Di ba?
Kung siya, favorite niyang word sa sinabi ni Tito is commitment, sa akin naman vocation. I totally agree with that.
Okay. I actually agree with both of you, and let me share what is the key happiness in this marriage. One of the major gifts of happiness of marriage is the mutual respect, just like the said na sinabi nyo na the couple, or sabihin natin the marriage couple should have their mutual respect to have a fruitful happiness. Diba? And another key is the fidelity. Ibig sabihin, parang if you show love, if one father shows love to a children, it also shows a love and respect towards to his lover or yung asawa niya, right? And lastly, I would like to add na once na pumasok ng marriage, it should be respected their vows. Wherein na parang till death do us part, di ba? Dapat nire-respeto nila, dapat they should be loyal and parang faithful sa isa't isa, right? And lastly, hindi lang dapat sa kanyang asawa, dapat sa anak niyo rin. Kung ano yung pangangailangan ng isang bata at ano yung man yung gusto ng bata, we should willing to give them in the future. And so that in the future, lahat ng mga binigay natin sa kanila is voluntarily, mapapansin niyo yun na yung bata naman yung magsusukli sa atin voluntarily. Hindi siya forcingly na susukli sa atin.
Ayun. So, before the last sentence for this podcast, I want to commend to all of you. Ang galing. Ang ganda. Pwede na mag-asawa. Pwede na Pwede na mag-asawa. So, nakakatuwa kasi, you know, in this very generation, sobrang rare yung may mga ideas about unconditional love, consent, vocation, commitment, gano'n. Totoo. Very, ano na siya, it's becoming rare, sadly. And it's very nice na as a guest here today, you're sharing something very important information, and you're sharing it to the people.
Yeah.
Diba? You're sharing it. Then, thank you talaga. So, for our very last and finale question, to conclude everything and to be able to reflect. Ang galing. To be able to reflect. Ito. If you're going to have a family, what kind of parent are you going to be? And while you reflect, so tatanungin.
Ay!
Give them a time to reflect.
Okay. Let me share my insights when I'm having a family soon. Hindi natin sure. Expected the unexpected kung tutusin. Hindi, when the times comes na I'll be a father in the future, but before that, I want to focus on myself, on my career. I want to grow my career so that when I have a family soon, ma-provide ko yung needs, ma-provide ko yung wants ng isang bata and yung magiging asawa ko in the future. And kung ako tatanungin, anong klaseng tatay ako? Parang gusto ko yung klaseng tatay na parang very silly. Kung ano yung nakikita nyo ngayon, yung parang palatawa, pala-joke, di ba? Yun ang gusto kong makita sa akin ng mga anak ko at yung magiging asawa ko in the future.
Galing na naman tulong. Okay, so ready na kayo?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start from Sir Austin.
Personally, ano din? Medyo simple Francis in terms of being silly, happy. Siyempre, para, happy-happy. Hindi naman kailangan laging seryoso, di ba? Have fun din with family and life. And I guess I will teach them my faith, but they have the freedom kung gusto nilang i-fully capture it within themselves. Hindi naman pipilitin ng simba. Kung gusto nila, sure. I believe faith is still important. And spirituality. And other than that, of course, respect to one another. And yeah, being committed to things and not making foolhardy decisions. It should be important. Because if we don't teach them the things we need to, they will be in bad places that they didn't wish to be.
Yeah.
And it is our obligation to educate them within these things. And of course, I will lead from example. Hindi yung tuturo ka lang pero tinuro ko sa'yo ito pero hindi ko ito gagawin, bahala ka sa buhay. Hindi naman ganun. I should encapsulate and show them what must be done. That's how I see things rather than dictator ka lang ng ano lang.
That's very beautiful.
Sa akin naman, I think una-una, syempre pagiging responsible, mag-provide ko lahat ng kailangan nila, bibigay ko lahat yung needs nila and wants nila. And ang gusto kong gawin is hindi sila bibigyan ng parang trauma. Pwedeng madala nila yun sa pagkatanda nila. Tapos nila. And yung parents ko kasi sa akin is sobrang bait nila. And never nila akong sinaktan. And the way of parang dinidiscipline nila ako is more like, kakausapin nila ako pero hindi sila nagbibitaw ng harsh words or hindi nila ako niya-insulto. Gusto ko rin yung gawin sa mga anak ko. Since kung yung parents ko nga, hindi ako binigyan ng trauma, ba't ko bibigyan ng trauma yung mga anak ko?
Actually, I agree. Bago mapunta kay Enzo, I agree. Parang dito rin kasi papasok yung generational trauma. And, di ba?
That's so real.
diba, in this generation as a part of the Gen Z, I think it's time to break the cycle of generational trauma. So I agree with you guys.
Agree rin ako dyan. And in all honesty, for me, if my chance na maging tatay na ako, honestly, for me, it's only one word: the happiness of my child. Bakit? Because in the first place, that is our responsibility as parents. Parang feeling ko parent na agad ako ah. That is the responsibility of the parent. Kasi the child's enjoyment is your responsibility. And dagdag pa natin, if your child is happy, they will grow up very faithful, very paano ba sabihin to? Very friendly and kind. Kasi ako, for me, gusto ko sa child ko, first and foremost talaga, I want them, like Austin said, to have faith rin. Kasi nga, faith is a very good driving factor. Magandang driving factor siya pagdating sa morals ng bata. Malalaman ng bata, ganito pala yung, because of faith, malalaman nila na may ganito pala mali at tama. Of course, hindi rin nasasagot lahat yun ng faith kasi meron mga stuff na sa faith na medyo sa 21st century na ngayon na syempre medyo liberal na tayo ngayon, di ba? Medyo liberal na tayo ngayon. Pwede natin sabihin na hindi masyado na ng faith kasi nga, of course, they still have their own conservative beliefs. Pero for me talaga, going back to as a parent, I want to, like Austin, I want them to see me as a role model. Role model na kahit sabihin natin na I'm imperfect man ako at dagdag pa natin, may kamali man ako sa buhay ko, gusto ko pa rin na through their mistakes, pwede natin sabihin na kahit man may mali sila ginawa, or for example, may naano sila sa nanay, di ba? Na pagalitan sila na nanay nila. It doesn't matter. Ang inaano ko dito, kahit man pinagalitan ka, you can still change. Pwede ka makipag-ayos sa nanay mo. Makipag-ayos ka na, nanay, I'm sorry. And that's why, ang talaga is communicating with your child and pwede rin sa spouse natin, di ba? Communication is key as a parent. Kasi nga, for example, bilang tatay, ginagawa mo lang, ina-abandon mo lang yung anak mo, ano mangyayari? Di ba? Parang, dahil sa pag-abandon ng anak mo, hindi siya natuto lang siya maging mag-isa. At mahirap ang ganun sa anak. Kaya, that's why you always have to nurture and communicate with your child. And that's for me, para sa akin, yan talaga yung pinakamaganda aspect para maging tatay.
Yeah.
For me, when our dear host asked that question, napunta sa isip ko yung the three words that John Cena always advocate. I know he turned heel, but please hear me out. Hustle, loyalty, respect. Hustle. Why? I strive hard for my children. I want them to grow. I want them to be successful. Loyalty. Like they said, I want to be the best role model that I can be to them. And in time, I will always be them by their side, for better or for worse. Respect. I know that times are changing, the norms are changing, and the attitudes are changing, but I still respect them and value them as a person. And to that end, I want to be the father that is loyal, that is a role model, a responsible parent, but also as, how do you put this, their first friend in their lives.
That's very beautiful. And I really love your answers. Kasi, again, we want to commend all of you na it's very important for us it's very significant na natutunan natin kung paano ba maging magulang. And it's not just the fact that we are living in a continuously evolving society, but also we should keep these scriptures absolute. And I really love the binagtag nyo yung scriptures and yung importance ng faith. And kasi hindi lang family ang foundation. Kasi ang foundation talaga ng family is si
God.
God.
So,
He should be the foundation of our family. And so, kaya naman, thank you guys for coming into this very heartfelt podcast.
ayun, no?
Very heartfelt podcast kasi marami kami natutunan and ang dami naming na fulfill or ang dami naming nakuhang insights from you. And it's very important na matutunan namin ito. And I want to commend all of you and super duper thank you for coming to this podcast. So, palakpakan natin sarili natin. And before we end, should we also want to commend our technical people? Please come here.
Come
and
here.
run. Nabigla sila. So,
Come on down!
So, we want to thank our tech here. Ayan, magpakilala kayo guys.
Hi, I'm Sophia. Hi, I'm Amalda Rivera.
Data kayo kita dyan. Dito kayo.
Ayun.
Hello! Ayan.
Ayun.
So, ayan. So, thank you everyone. Thank you sa inyo. Thank you, Tech. And thank you, partner. Oh.
Thank you. Okay, this concludes of our Tom Say. Once again, my name is Aaron Francis Silvestre.
And my name is Leah Limpiada. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications and comment down below all your comments in our podcast for today.
Bye-bye! Thank you so much!